Please the last one to turn off the light when leaving. Red Bull is being dismantled. The exodus is constant and practically day by day as well. We have some new news, in this case, a significant loss, of which we can already count a few this year. And it is that of Will Courtenay, Red Bull's chief strategist. Many of you have written to me. You have told me, look, I didn't even know about this man's existence. We always talk about Hannah Smith, and maybe that's one of the reasons why she's leaving. For which he is looking for a new accommodation at McLaren, because he has had to be there all these seasons. A bit in the media shadow of a character as important for Red Bull as he has been these years. With her successes and her mistakes, Hannah Smith. But yes, that's how we told it on Twitter. We said McLaren has a new sporting director. This is the figure with which this signing takes place. Sporting director. McLaren sports car, although he will report to McLaren's chief strategist, Randeep Singh, is none other than Will Courtenay, one of the main strategists of Red Bull. Of the two main strategists. In the style of Rob Marshall, a person who I think has been crucial in what McLaren is doing at the moment. McLaren's current success is incomprehensible without the departure of Rob Marshall from Red Bull. The aerodynamicist who has been part of the team and who surely took some little secret from Red Bull for McLaren to be doing so well. To give you an idea of the damage that these outings can do, no matter how much gardening colour in between. He swaps Milton Keynes for Joaquin in this kind of Persian market that Red Bull is becoming. Exodus, more than alarming. Why do we call it the Persian market? Well, because really everyone is looking for accommodation elsewhere. It doesn't matter if it's Aston Martin, if it's Audi, if it's McLaren. Why do we call it the Persian market? Why do we call it the Persian market? That already denotes that something is happening. I remember here some statements that at the time did not make much noise. They were not talked about much. By Zak Brown, which now make a lot of sense. The CEO of McLaren calls Red Bull a toxic environment. Toxic environment. Here everyone knows each other. Everyone knows the shame that there is in the opposing teams. And sees the speck in someone else's eye more than in his own. And Zak Brown, I think, it is clear that he already had a clear idea of what was happening at Red Bull since the beginning of the year. You know everything that has happened. We don't need to go over the internal faction warfare that has existed in this team anomaly. But it has existed, and that is the important thing. And that's why Zak Brown dared to say these things, which I think he said for a reason. Perhaps now we can understand he had internal reports clearly of what was happening there. Everyone talks to everyone, and they know when there is discomfort in a team, when there is a bad vibe, when things are not going in the right direction. And that's all what's happening. Red Bull is unstable according to Zak Brown. When is this? This is from months ago, June 13. Check if it rained at the beginning of summer. Red Bull is unstable according to Brown. Red Bull is a toxic environment, Brown said during an appearance on the Bloomberg Hot Pursuit podcast. Adrian Newey's departure is a big deal because I think there's a lot of that many people were looking forward to working with him. There's a lot of resumes flying around. Look at the power of this phrase. There's a lot of resumes flying around. One of them was Will's, of course. And in the end, he ended up at McLaren. According to the American, this is always the case in Formula One. But at Red Bull, there is a greater degree of unrest within the team. And he even foresees problems with Red Bull's sponsors. Sponsors pay attention to who or with whom they partner and what they represent. Those people. It is a delicate situation. Let's see if this one